Here's another old talking book record player that was made to play talking book records for the blind. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I collect these things, and this is one that's been here for several years. It's not really in the best cosmetic shape. This is a Model C from 1955, and I believe this was the last machine that was a single-speed 33 RPM model. I think the Model D would play 16 RPM and 33 RPM. Here's a paper label inside of the machine showing needle information, as well as a date of 1955. And I believe there used to be a metal ID tag right here, but I'm sure that was removed when this machine was decommissioned or whatever. The pickup cartridge was missing out of a tone arm, but I just got in a new replacement from Gary at the VM website. And it's been so long since I've messed with this, I really don't even remember much about it. I want to say I did some work to the amplifier way before I had a YouTube account. So let's open this up and see what all's been done and what else needs to be done to it. And the way you take this machine apart is by removing these 4 screws here, and then the whole unit just slides out the back, or at least that's the way it's supposed to come apart. Like this, as you can see. And obviously I have replaced some capacitors in this unit in the past. And here's the top side of the amp. As you can see, this amp uses a power transformer and a fairly hefty output transformer. Our tube lineup is 6AU6 preamp, 6AQ5 output, and 6X4 rectifier tube. And this amp has these nice little tube retainers that are spring-loaded. That's to keep the tubes from working out of their sockets during shipment, etc. And here are the labels inside of the machine. Maybe this is showing up on the screen and can be read. And these are your record guides to help place a 12-inch record on the turntable platter. Okay, let's evaluate this thing, see what kind of problems it has. Now the motor runs. This switch is motor and I believe tone control, and this is our master power. Well, I'm hearing popping in the speaker. See the cartridge pickup leads here. Okay, the amplifier is passing a signal. So that's a good sign. And here's our cartridge. It's an Electro Voice 51. Kind of an oddball job. It's a dual-sided cartridge, but when one needle wears out, you have to physically unplug the cartridge and reverse it around in its holder. Okay, here we are with the cartridge installed. That control needs to be cleaned. But yep, it's working now. Okay, now that we have the cartridge replaced and the amplifier is passing a signal, we'll give it the once over, and just to make sure there are no resistors that are out of tolerance, I've obviously replaced the paper caps at some point. The Mallory electrolytic can is original, but I think we'll leave it alone for now because, as you heard, there was no filter hum, and this can is nice and cool, and since this is something that's not going to another home, it'll stay here and will probably only receive about 20 minutes use over the course of me owning it. And I'll just leave it alone for now. This is one of those situations where I'm going to take the don't fix it if it ain't broken attitude. And we now have the speaker removed out of the way to make things easier to get to. As you can tell, there's really not much to this amplifier. Okay, I'm replacing a couple of resistors having to do with the 6AU6 driver tube. I have a 470 k ohm resistor on the plate, and then we have an 82 k ohm resistor on the screen grid. The 470 k didn't, well, it read out of tolerance, but wait till you see what the screen grid resistor reads. Okay, the 470 k ohm resistor reads 562 k, so yeah, that one's out of tolerance. Now, here comes the biggie. The 82 k, gray, red, orange, unless my eyes are deceiving me, and I don't think they are, reads a whopping 321,000 ohms. So yeah, I would say that one is way out of tolerance and needs to be replaced. Now these other resistors, some of them read kind of on the borderline, but I'm not going to worry about replacing them right now. They're not that bad off, and the thing about this old tube stuff, it'll usually work if a resistor is just slightly out of tolerance. It's just when they're way out of tolerance, like this screen grid resistor is when you start having performance issues. Now, if this were something I was doing for a customer, I'd give it the works, because once I fix something for a customer, I really don't want to see it again. But since this is mine, we're not gonna go to no effort to fully restore this amplifier. Yeah, those resistors helped a little bit. Well, that was cute, but this is a scratched record anyway. But yeah, keep in mind that these talking book players were designed for speech playback, not music, so they're really not equalized for hi-fi reproduction, if you will. But you know, they're fine for what they were made for, and that was playing back talking book records. Okay, here we are back together, and now for a little demonstration with an actual talking book record.
This is Jansen Noyes, Jr., President of the American Foundation for the Blind, speaking to you from our recording studios. It is my great pleasure to provide a special introduction to this presentation in talking book form of Miss Helen Keller's latest book, The Open Door. This release is made possible by the United States Library of Congress as part of its expanding program for blind talking book users, and is available from all regional libraries. However, because Miss Keller has been so close to the American Foundation for the Blind for so many years, we have secured the permission of the Library of Congress and of Doubleday and Company to make available for a nominal charge sets of these recordings in album form for those of you who wish to keep the recorded book in your home, or who might wish to present it to a blind friend. This we do in recognition of the fact that many of you may find repeated inspiration from a rereading of Miss Keller's words, and in tribute to her personally. We are especially happy that the Library of Congress assigned the recording of Miss Keller's book to our studio, and I, as the president of the foundation, as well as a personal friend of Miss Keller's, take great pleasure in introducing to you the person who will actually read The Open Door. She already is well known to the talking book audience, and we think especially appropriate for this assignment. May I present Miss Ethel Everett.
Thank you, Mr. Noyes. May I add that information about The Open Door in album form may be obtained by writing to the American Foundation for the Blind, 15 West 16th Street,
Okay, there you go.
New York.
Thanks for watching, and more to come.